You should be looking forward to complete to get your incorporation done for next week.
Thanks, Tony.
I'm just going to pop that microphone. Good. So this one's just a recording. If you pop that in your back pocket.
Perfect.
And
That's you?
Well, you're still going to need this one.
Okay, it's recording. Sorry for that, guys. Okay, so I'm Graham Topa. I'm a corporate lawyer here at Airden Burles. I've been here for now almost 7 years. I founded and helped set up the Startups Group a while back, and I'm currently a co-director of the Startups Group with Tony Sabato, who just spoke and will be speaking later. Myself, my colleague Aaron Baer, who's with us tonight, do a lot of work with early stage companies. I also do a lot of work with venture capital funds, private equity funds, institutional investors, actually a lot of US banks doing lending to early stage companies as well. And so I have a good sense of sort of what things you kind of need to be looking for and thinking about in terms of having sort of a successful company, looking in the next 6 months, year, 2 years, 3 years down the road and all that stuff. So with that, I'm just going to kind of go run through the basics. How many people are incorporated or have an incorporated company? A lot of people got incorporated companies. You have law firms assist with that incorporation? You do it kind of on your own, things like that? Yeah, different. So you can file articles of incorporation, set up a company. A lot of sort of the value we do is we help you, as lawyers who are specialized, working with complex commercial transactions and investments and all that. So we help ensure that sort of that's done properly and done such a way that you can protect yourself and ensure that when you get investors coming on board, you're checking all the boxes and making sure you're doing all the right things to promote investment. So to talk about business structures, a corporation is a separate legal person. You always hear that concept thing about personhood, corporations, all that stuff. Corporations own property. They have the right to sue, be sued, things like that in their own name. One of the big things about the difference between you running a business and a corporation running a business is the corporation is the entity that you're contracting with, that's incurring all the liability, that owns the assets, that actually is carrying on and doing the business. And so one of the other options is sole proprietorship. So if you don't incorporate, you're just kind of carrying out business and providing services or selling goods or doing it in your own personal capacity. And you would typically register a business name, maybe get a tax number for it, and you'd essentially be a sole proprietor. And you can conduct business that way. But the main thing it doesn't afford you some of the wonderful things that a corporation would, in addition to limited liability, like the ability to sort of bring in on investors. So you can get structured investment, understand sort of the economics of that, what that looks like. It also allows for limited liability protection when you actually incorporate. So there's different types of corporate structures. The simplest one to think about and the one that we'll be simply referring to going forward is limited liability corporation. What that essentially means is the shareholders, so the people who own the corporation, are limited in their liability and exposure to what they've contributed as capital to the share in exchange for shares they've taken out. So if you put in $100 and you take out $100 worth of shares, the maximum that you can lose as a shareholder is $100. They can't come after your home, your car, your clothes, you're capped, you're protected. So if your corporation's going on carrying on business, incurring a lot of liability or obligations, things go wrong, it turns out you got a lot of debts and you owe a lot of people some money as part of doing business, you can, for the most part, as long as you haven't guaranteed the obligations of the corporation, rest assured that your personal possession property is not affected. So it's really important, again, to when you're entering contracts and carrying on business, you're doing so in the corporate name, not in a personal name, and it's clearly that everything you're doing with respect to your business is being done through the corporation's corporate vehicle. So we talked about some of these things, advantages and disadvantages here. There are some registration requirements. You've got to file articles of incorporation. You have to file registration with that as well. There's annual reports or annual returns that need to be filed with the corporation to keep it in good standing in various jurisdictions. But they tend to be, there's a lot of well-established service professionals there to help you with these, help you with setting up, help you with maintaining it. A lot of it isn't that onerous once you start doing it for 1 or 2 times. And you can do most of the filings online anyway. So we talked about all this already. So thinking about corporations are legal entities. They're separate. So when often sometimes founders, early stage entrepreneurs can sort of mistakenly say, well, it's my company or my business, or when they're entering the contracts, even they may just be signing in their own personal name. We see this happen all the time. And then when it comes to someone starting to do due diligence in a company trying to make an investment, sometimes you'll see contracts there with an individual founder as